She was an OnlyFans star with millions of followers. He was her boyfriend. Then one apartment, one night, and one death changed everything forever.
Welcome to Unfiltered Reality, where the truth is darker than fiction.
Courtney Clenney built an online empire under the name Courtney Taylor. To her millions of followers across Instagram and OnlyFans, she projected a life of flawless beauty, extreme wealth, and perpetual vacation. Alongside her was her boyfriend Christian Obumseli, an ambitious young businessman from Texas. Online, they presented as the ultimate modern success story, a glamorous couple traveling the world. In early 2022, they moved into a luxury high-rise in Miami. The apartment, with its sweeping waterfront views, was the physical embodiment of the brand they had built. On the evening of April 3rd, that highly curated image collapsed. Emergency dispatchers received a frantic call from the apartment, sending police rushing to the luxury building. The events of that single night stripped away the filters and the influencer wealth, replacing a manufactured online narrative with a violent reality that sparked a massive divide in public opinion. On the 911 audio, Clenney can be heard frantically reporting a stabbing. First responders arrived to find a chaotic and bloody scene. Christian Obumseli was found suffering from a fatal stab wound to the chest. He later died from his injuries. Nearby, police found Clenney cradling him, her clothes soaked in his blood. When questioned, Clenney provided a specific account of the final moments. She stated that Obumseli had grabbed her by the throat and shoved her against a wall. In terror, she retreated to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and threw it at him from roughly 10 feet away. Her defense attorneys characterized the death as a result of survival instincts. They argue she was a victim of domestic abuse, who acted purely out of fear for her life. Investigators now had to determine if the pathology of the chest wound and the blood distribution at the scene aligned with the mechanics of a blade thrown from across a room. The Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's report provided the first major challenge to Clenney's account. The autopsy revealed a stab wound penetrating 3 inches deep into Obumseli's chest. According to the medical examiner, the angle and severity of the tissue damage suggested a forceful, close-quarters downward strike. A thrown knife loses momentum and enters at an angle. A downward thrust uses continuous force, pushing the blade deep. Conversely, defense experts threw knives at a pig carcass, arguing their test proves a thrown blade generates enough force to inflict that wound depth. Forensic teams continue to analyze the murder weapon, looking for grip patterns and trace evidence that might definitively show how the handle was held at the moment of impact. This clash over physics is the linchpin of the case. If the medical evidence disproves the throw, Clenney's self-defense claim could be replaced by a second-degree murder conviction. A valid self-defense claim relies on establishing a pattern of fear and abuse leading up to the fatal encounter. Investigators looked to the building's own surveillance network, uncovering elevator security footage recorded in February 2022, just 2 months before Obumseli's death. The video documents a specific dynamic. In the footage, Clenney initiates physical violence, aggressively hitting and shoving Obumseli as he deflects her. A documentary trail corroborated this footage. Records showed Clenney had a prior domestic battery charge from a Las Vegas hotel in 2021, and neighbors in their Miami building had repeatedly called security to report violent disturbances. Prosecutors are using this digital and documentary footprint to frame Clenney as the serial aggressor in a volatile relationship. As prosecutors built their case, the investigation pulled in Clenney's immediate family. In a surprising procedural twist, police in Austin, Texas, arrested Courtney's parents, Kim and Deborah Clenney. Law enforcement charged them with unauthorized access to a computer system. Investigators now allege her parents illegally accessed Christian's laptop, which had been left at the crime scene after the stabbing. The defense retaliated with their own allegations of misconduct. They later revealed that a building employee had entered the apartment and taken photographs of the scene before police arrived. According to Clenney's attorneys, authorities ordered that employee to delete those photographs, an act the defense claims permanently compromised the preservation of the crime scene. These peripheral scandals over hacked laptops and deleted photographs have created massive and ongoing delays throughout the judicial process. Years have passed since the stabbing. Clenney remains in jail without bond, as trial dates continue to be pushed back into 2025 and 2026. Outside the courtroom today, the case remains intensely polarized, fueled by the collision of true crime culture and influencer fame. When a jury is finally seated, they will be tasked with looking past the millions of followers, the hacked laptops, and the pig carcasses to determine what actually happened in that apartment, separating a desperate act of self-defense from a deliberate act of murder.